Good morning. It's day 10 of the Grand Adventure. Spent the best night of sleep I've had in a while at the Three Bear Motel. Let's see, what did I do? I went and had dinner way over at the other side of town at, it was almost like a diner-like place. They had huckleberry milkshakes, and it was just delicious. But having had a burger and fries for lunch, which I did over at the bar right by the hotel, I didn't feel like something fried again. So they actually had salad. So I had a sesame chicken salad, which was actually not bad. I mean, not the best, but produce, given the produce they saw in the grocery store, I think it was pretty good. So now the owners of the hotel drove me back up to the top of Rogers Pass. That was super nice of them. And I learned they'd bought the hotel about 4 years ago. He used to work construction, but he was gone from home all the time. So they saw this as a small business opportunity. So they're making a go at it. And it's a cute hotel, I have to say. It's a cute quilt on the bed with a bear theme. The toilet paper holders are these big bear claws. So they've done a nice job. So now I'm climbing up. This whole section is driven by water. So I'm carrying a full load of water, thanks to my experience 2 days ago. And the optimist plan is I'll go 26 miles to this guy, Dave, who owns an outfitter shop right on the trail where he has water and you can camp. Or if that ends up being a bridge too far, I have enough water that I can just dry camp somewhere short of that and then go into his place and pick up more water in the morning. At least for the big climb, got some cool weather. So let's talk about today's water strategy. It's 26 miles to the outfitters. So whether or not I can make that probably depends on how easy the trail is in terms of hiking and how fast I go. I'm carrying 2 3/4 liter bottles, 2 1 liter bottles. So that's 3.5 liters of water. Plus I've got my 1 quart pea bottle that I filled with water. Now, I carry a Gatorade pea bottle so that, you know, given my age, given I've got a prostate the size of a softball, I don't have to like keep getting out of the tent at night. What I did is I completely washed it out, filled it up with water, and that's like my emergency source of water. I'd run it through the filter, obviously. So if I end up having to use that, that will be the closest I ever come to the famous having to drink your own pee stories that my kids always ask me about. But I'm pretty sure it won't come to that, but I just thought it was safer to have the extra water. Could have carried it in the flexible water bladder, but I don't really like the way that rides in my pack. Plus I'm just mistrustful about leakage and so on with those things. So we'll keep marching and see how the day progresses and whether I'm moving fast enough to make it all the way to the next water source. More town stories. So I met the owner of the Wagon Wheel Saloon, I think it's called, something like that. I was walking over there to have dinner because it's supposed to have the best food in town. And as I walk up, he's like, if you're hoping to get dinner, I'm closed. Turns out the labor shortage, he can't find enough people to keep the restaurant open. I guess there's just not enough people willing to work. And so he's cut back his hours and he's only open for breakfast and lunch, which kind of surprised me. Although thinking about it now, you know, you'd think that dinner would be your big time, but apparently the people who are available are the ones who work breakfast and lunch. And I could see people coming into town and so on, that's when they would eat as opposed to dinner. So I did go there for the breakfast experience, and I must say this morning, and I must say, 2 huge pancakes for and coffee for $5. I think he's got a labor shortage. He needs to raise his prices. All right, just startled 2 grizzly bears, a big one and a little one. I got within 50 feet of them, didn't even notice they were there, and all of a sudden they started running away. So I think I'm going to keep moving. Beautiful hiking country. Gonna head up towards that. It's almost like walking on the Balds in North Carolina. Oh, still thinking about the bears. I mean, to be honest, my heart rate never really got up because it was over before it was done. But I was thinking about how hard it is to get that kind of stuff on camera. Or so many events where you know, are always like, I wish I'd been filming that 5 minutes after it happened. And I started thinking, gee, someone should invent like a body cam that's like continuously recording. And then if you realize you need a section, you just push a button, and it's normally just cycling through recording, 20-minute segments. And then if you need to preserve it, you just push a button and it preserves the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. That way you could have the stuff that you need for like the bears running away, and you could just put it all together in the post-edit process. This ridge. Yeah, hard to see, but we're in some beautiful mountains. And you can see the trail's going to go up that way, over that. So, thinking about hiking life. In real life, I'm an introvert. Yet, when I'm out here, I talk to everyone. And, not just the people I meet on the trails. Obviously, you always talk to them and you have a lot in common. But, even people in town, even people who aren't in the service industry, some of it's you're by yourself. So you just want to talk to people. And, some of it is, it's so different when you're talking to people and you don't have an agenda. You don't have to worry about your long-term relationship with them. You have something in common because you're hiking, or they're in the mountains living, or whatever. And then when you're hitchhiking, of course, I always feel like you have to earn your meal, as it were, and make sure you're a good companion. But I don't know if you've experienced this, but inevitably, even though I'm doing something that's pretty cool, we inevitably spend 90% of the time talking about what they're doing and what's going on in their lives. Talked to the owner of the motel today about the last few places he'd been on vacation. But it just, all those conversations reinforced to me how lovely Americans are, and what nice people they are. And I mean, it's funny because every one of these guys is a completely different political spectrum. The owner of the restaurant had a giant Trump flag in his restaurant and so on, but we could find common ground and find great things to talk about. Flesher Pass, halfway. All right, sitting here having lunch here at beautiful Flesher Pass at the campground. It's about 2:30, so I got 12 more miles to go. So I'm in pretty good shape. So I dumped my pea water because I don't think I'll need it. And it's sunny, but it's not terrible. There's still a breeze, and it doesn't look like the climbing is terrible up ahead. So we'll see how it goes. Walking along the ridge tops through the woods. Beautiful afternoon. Some section these trees are burned because there have been fires. Other places they're whole, but it's a beautiful, well-graded trail. Very cruisy. So I'm enjoying my afternoon. Hopefully the miles will fly by. Same ridge. Here's the burn section. Rest break, it's about 5 o'clock. Looks like I've got about 7 miles to go. So, pretty good shape. It's cooling down, so things are getting better. All right, it's evening time. I'm on mile 25 of the waterless walk. So, looking forward to getting into Temple Pass and seeing the famous High Divide Outfitters. So this should be fun. And coming up to Highline Outfitters with solar panels and everything.